welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. This is my Just for Science Let's Play, and if you saw my last episode, you saw that I've been having some problems with getting my rockets up into space with their science packages intact. So I decided to use some of the science points we got from all of Bill's EVA work to open up the flight control package for one reason and one reason only. It has these fairings in it. Conic fairing and egg-shaped fairing, here we go, and the base rings for them, which will allow me to now protect my my pod and my science packages and everything else that's going up during the takeoff portion of the launch. So, which I've got a lot of science left, but I think I'm going to save it because I wanted to unlock this more science tech package. So what I've got is kind of a repeat science launch that I want to do, where we go back up and do the lower Kerbal orbiting and higher Kerbal orbiting with the goo package, the goo canister, and get the science from all that, along with maybe wherever we happen to land, pick up some of that surface goo package along with the launch area and so on and so forth. So what I've done is I've gone back in here, and this was our last rocket we fired, our first orbital, to try and get our first Kerbal orbital. And like I said, the exposed upper nose cone ended up getting the science packages, the goo canisters, ripped off during launch. Plenty of thrust here from these extra boosters. Just we over accelerated our speed, and the air current just ripped everything off the side of the shuttle, or of the side of the launch as we were going up. So what I've done is, with the science package just unlocked, I've built a new, what I'm calling Science Rocket 1. Ta-da! Big difference. Yeah, fairing cone here at the top. So now this should protect our pod and our science packages on the way up. Still have the same 4 small boosters here. I added an extra fuel tank in the middle here just to make up for some extra thrust to get us up over 4,000 delta V total, because besides adding on the fairing up here at the top, I have rebuilt this area up here in the top with a little bit more science to it. Aha! So as you can see, I have shifted things around a little bit. I've added a second set of parachutes, just for helping out. Well, for 2 reasons. One, in case this does break apart and we lose one section or one part. So I have a chute here for the pod itself, a chute for this section, a chute for this section. Ideally, that should distribute the weight as it comes down, or worst case, as things break apart or get broken apart, it would allow for some safe landing. And I'll come back to chutes here in a second because I did some other stuff with them. I figured out a few things. Threw some extra batteries in there because right now we have no solar cells, so whatever energy we take up is all the energy we've got, which now we've got about 1 day's worth of energy. So it's not that I'm going to be transmitting science from the goo packs back down, but I just want to make sure I don't run out of electricity while I'm up there in orbit, because I'm going to be doing some orbital adjusting in order to get the different goo canister experiments, along with I may radio back any science I do get extra. Depending on time and fuel, we may try. That'd be impossible to do. Never mind. I was going to say I might try to adjust this to a polar orbit in order to get the polar science, but I just don't think I'll have enough delta V for that. I don't know. We'll see when we get up there. Anyway, so on the parachute, and I tuck my little antennas in underneath here, so hopefully if I do need them, they're there and I can use them. So the fairing here will protect all this stuff on the way up from. See where they're at over here. Get some additional information. Yeah, so the conic fairing here will protect us. It has an active heat shield, so it will protect us from any heat generated from going up too fast through the atmosphere, along with the fact that it just has the air resistance to keep it from letting stuff get ripped off. Active heat shield and I guess atmosphere displacement, whatever you want to call it. So, along with all these changes, I did figure out on the parachutes that if I go into the action group settings and I click on a parachute, here we go, it opens up the RealChute editor, which allows me to preset the chutes for the right altitude, pre-deployment altitude and deployment altitudes that I want to use. The only thing I didn't figure out and I didn't see on here was if it would allow me to auto-arm them. So I'll have to check that on launches if I can. I don't think I'll be able to arm them as easily if they're inside the fairing. So after the fairing breaks away, I should be able to click on one here. Oh, just toggle info. Yeah, so now they're they're preset to the right pre-deployment and deployment altitudes that I want to use. I just don't know if they'll be armed or not, and I must be going downwards to deploy. Very important there, because I don't want them to, if they are auto-armed, I don't want them to deploy while we're launching. So anyway, I figured out how to preset all my chutes. So now, including this guy here on the top, they're all preset to the right altitudes that I would like, and hopefully it auto-calculated the right sizes for what they have to bring down. So we'll find out here. On the parachutes. Like I said, not too sure, but so since this is a science mission, I've decided to let good old Bob, the scientist, fly this one. So Bob Kerman, the scientist, this will be his first flight, and it is a science mission, so he'll be flying as the lead scientist on this mission. So let's go ahead, and he's in the hot seat. Let's go ahead and get our fairing put back on here, so that way we are ready to make sure put both sides back on. It looked funny when I only stuck one side on before. There we go. Seal all that up nice and tight. And it looks like we are ready to go for our science launch here. So I'm going to double check real quick to make sure nothing has changed here. Nothing has changed here. So basically I've got it set for staging so that when we separate out the main lifting stage, it'll also detach the fairing and we'll switch over to our orbital maneuvering engine. So ideally, the lifting stage should get us up pretty close to the orbit we want to have, which starting orbit we're going to shoot for is somewhere between 100 and 150K, do our lower science there, and then upwards to probably 300 to 400K for our higher Kerbal science. So let's go ahead and go out to the launch pad. All right. So, nighttime launch, that's fine. Timing really doesn't matter because I don't have anything else up in space. So, what we want to do real quick here is run our thrust all the way down because we're going to use just the boosters for initial takeoff. We'll switch to our main unit once those get ready to run out. Bob's in the hot seat. All our stuff looks good to go. So, we are ready for launch. Go ahead, Bob. Oh, should probably turn SAS on. I like to fly straight, not eccentrically all over the place. And bring up our resources here. So yeah, those fuel boosters are burning out pretty quick. So we'll get ready to power up the main engine here. And we'll start the main engine burning. And there we go. Looks like we're getting a lot of wind resistance. We'll blow away those boosters. A little bit of wobble there. And what we're going to do is we're going to try pitching over a little bit so we can actually get into orbit, if that's even possible. Wow. This thing will not move. SAS is off, yes. Wow. What are we at? Like 18,000, 19,000 meters? I guess we're in the thick of the atmosphere because with that cone on the top, I'm just really locked in place here going straight up, which is not a bad thing. Up is good. That's what I want. Here we go. I got a little bit of control now. So I can pitch over a little bit. Oh my gosh. This is tough. It will not move. Try pitching a little more. Throw some weight on it here. Come on. There we go. Oh, it's starting to go over. Yep. Alright, so our apoapsis is going up pretty good. Just need to get us into a more horizontal position here so we can build up some orbital speed. There we go. Oh, we're falling over. Trying to fight it. Come on, slow down. I know on my wheel it probably looks like I'm not doing much, but I'm literally mashing my keyboards almost into powder here trying to keep this, there we go, locked in place, the SAS, and this looks good. Check the map real quick here, see if we're building up some orbital speed. Yes, very good. So again, like I said, we're going to shoot for about 100 to 150K, so I'm going to see how far this fuel will carry me. Actually, this fuel might carry me quite far. So this is kind of again, another hookshot kind of takeoff where we've gone vertical pretty far before pitching over to build up our horizontal maneuvering speed. So I don't know if that's just a function of having the nose cone on and fighting through the atmosphere, or the fact that I just don't have enough maneuverability. My winglets are fixed. My engine, it doesn't have any any ability to switch its projection. So here we go. We're coming up on 110. I think we'll do 120K for our apoapsis like we did again. And good. Perfect. We'll cut the engine out there. We're almost out of fuel anyway. So let's switch back over to the map. Oh, very good. Very good. Look at this. We got half of an orbit. So what we want to do is probably set up a burn right about there on the apoapsis and bring out this orbit the rest of the way to bring our periapsis up. Come on, little guy. There we go. Oh, periapsis up somewhere above 100K. Perfect. So that'll be our lower orbit. Again, we're Kerbals. We don't have to be perfect. Just have to get it close. 111, 121. That's good. Check here. 750. Yeah. So our main lifting unit, the little amount of fuel we have in there, isn't going to finish the job, but it will start it, and then we'll kick it off. It'll fall back to Kerbin and get destroyed, and then we'll use our maneuvering engine for the rest of the way. So let's go ahead and switch back over and get in position for this. Yeah, it seems to turn much better now that we're just in space with no atmosphere. Just line up here on the marker very quickly. There we go. Turn the FAS back on. Looks like it's saying a 35-second burn, or less than a minute to it, so we'll just time warp a little bit here. Get down around 17 or 18 seconds on this side of the burn, which is good practice for when we do have to be perfect later on. And we'll go ahead and kick off the main engine. Wow, that didn't last long. Oh, there goes our fairings. Alright, so it looks like it's going to be a lot longer burn now, but that's okay. We'll adjust it as we go. As long as it pushes out to give us an orbit, it shouldn't be that much of a problem. We have plenty of time. And our apoapsis is not falling that much. It's actually holding pretty steady. So we'll stay right here around the 90K mark, or 90-degree mark. And we should be perfectly fine. And we've got plenty of fuel. I know, I like to use that phrase, plenty of fuel. I'll be screaming that even up to the point where I burn out sometime here in the future. We got plenty of fuel. Psh, no more. Yeah. So it looks like we're coming up here. Apoapsis is starting to fall behind us a little bit. We're still doing pretty good. Almost getting ready to cross over to a positive periapsis, so we'll no longer be slamming into the surface of Kerbin. Come on, little guy. There we go. Now we're looking. Periapsis is climbing. Apoapsis is still climbing pretty high. So we have to be careful here, because I don't want my apoapsis to get too far away. We'll pull that back in here, I think. And periapsis over 100K coming up. Yes. Good enough. We're going to stop at 105 because our apoapsis is literally running away from us. So, in order to adjust this real quick as we approach our periapsis, we'll just simply spin around here real quick and burn just a little bit of fuel. Actually, it doesn't matter. We're in a low orbit. We might as well do science, because I don't think the goo canisters matter anymore about what you're over, but let's find out. Let's go ahead and open one up. Observation of space near Kerbin. Yeah, it appears to have dumped. Goo seems to have clumped into a sphere. It also appears to have become brittle. Alright, so that's good, and we'll get some science off of that. We'll save that. So what we're going to do is we'll open up the second one over here, and we'll get the same experiment. Yep, same experiment. We'll save that. So I'm kind of doubling up, and the reason for that is I believe that you can get the extra little bits of science from running an experiment twice. Also, just in case, you know, something should fail and one of these guys gets ripped off. I should probably do these in different orders, actually. So let's do something. Reset that goo canister. And let's do this one over here. Just in case this gets ripped off, I will bring back some viable science. There we go. So we'll kind of stagger our goo canister uses around here. Now, one thing I wanted to check on was parachutes, which they did not arm, but they are preset to all their settings correctly. So this guy on this side is, and oops, guess I have to turn around this way. This guy on this side is. Perfect. So everybody is set. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and arm everybody. Arm. And I believe on this I do have to arm them all individually. So I might set that up on a toggle maybe using my and armed. No, Bob, we're not going out on EVA just yet. Boy, you're a scientist, not an astronaut, Bob. Calm down. Armed, and we'll arm the nose cone one. There we go. All 5 parachutes are armed, and let's go and continue to do science. Okay, so that's the lower orbit science. So now what we're going to do is just go ahead, which we've already got a pretty decent apoapsis. We're just going to, here at periapsis, push our app out to the 350K area where we want it to be. Oh, 450. Wow. Let's bring that back about 400 maybe. There we go. Throw ourselves out to 400K. We'll do our upper Kerbal experiments. And then we'll check our fuel. This is going to be kind of quick, Bob, because honestly, you don't need to do any EVA work. Bill took care of all that before. And being the engineer, you're just here to do some goo cans until we get you some more science equipment. And then we'll let you do some more experiments there. So it looks like coming up on our periapsis here with a very short burn, probably about 15 seconds. So let's just warp a little bit here. Bring ourselves a little closer. There we go. And we'll go ahead and start our burn. Run that apoapsis out to 400K. Oh, almost. Perfect. 400K. What we'll do is we'll swing around to 400K. I'm not going to worry about changing our periapsis since this is purely a science flight. We're just going to run out here and grab some goo can data. And then what we'll do is we'll just decay our orbit. Oh, we won't decay our orbit. We'll retrograde our orbit and bring ourselves right back down to Kerbal. And we'll try and pick a decent landing spot that we can get some more science from. Not the ocean, though the ocean is a really big, easy thing to hit. Let's see, we're approaching. That says we're at 400K according to our altitude HUD, so let's go back here to the view of the ship, and we'll open this canister up. There we go. Mystery goo observation in space high over Kerbal. Goo appears to vibrate merrily. Looks like it's very happy up here. Ooh, and a lot more science from doing this. We'll keep that data, and then we'll just we'll stagger these out. We'll open a goo can back over here. There we go. And appears to vibrate merrily. Very good. So the goo is happy. It's happy to be up here. Okay, so, oh yeah, we still have plenty of fuel, so we should have no problem deorbiting this. And then we'll see how reentry works with this extra section in here. And then what we'll do is as we open up some more science stuff, we'll replace out some of these goo cans and other things with some of the other science components for additional flights. So let's go ahead and put ourselves in the retrograde position, which we are almost at. Perfect. And let's go ahead and burn down our periapsis here. Oh, and silly me, I should have looked around on the other side of the world to see where we're coming down, to make sure we're going to land somewhere other than, oh, look at that, probably the ocean. I wonder if we can bring ourselves down here near this mountain area. Well, that'd be a really sharp descent. I don't really want a sharp descent. That breaks things. What do we got over here on the other side of the world? You know what, let's just do this. Let's bring down the periapsis. It's kind of dark here. Don't worry, you guys probably can't see anything better than I can see. Looks like the Kerbal Space Center is right here. We could aim for that maybe. Get our periapsis down a little bit more. There we go. And we'll bring it back across the water a little bit. And we'll stop right about there. That looks good. So it looks like we'll land somewhere probably between the Kerbal Space Center and a little bit west of it, hopefully. So let's warp around a little bit here until our altitude gets down around about 100K, and then we'll jettison off that, yeah, there we go, as it pulls up. And then we're going to go up a little bit short. Yeah, that works good. Oop, 86K, that's good. Again, we're Kerbal, so we don't have to be perfect, just close. So what we'll do is we'll put ourselves in the retrograde position again. There we go. And we'll hold there. And we will jettison off the drive unit because we don't need it. Goodbye, drive unit. It's nice knowing you. Did your job well. And he will burn up. And hopefully our heat shield here will do its job, because this is one thing that worries me. All those goo cans are sticking out around the sides, and I'm not sure how much temperature they can take. And now that I think about it, I probably should have done goo can experiments further up and worked my way down, because chances are if they are going to burn up, they're going to burn up from the bottom to the top. So I should make a note of that for the next time. Things that burn up first will start at the bottom probably and work their way up. So we'll try and go ahead and have this hold us in the retrograde position, since we have plenty of battery power this time. Won't be free falling through the atmosphere. Electric charge 752. Yeah, this is perfect. Actually, I wonder if we can take crew report. Makes any difference. Oh, hey, yeah, look at that. Kerbin's upper atmosphere. Perfect. Keep data. Actually, probably turn on our radios. Oh no, they'll probably get ripped off. Never mind. I was gonna say, we'll transmit that home. We'll transmit it home when we get closer to home, maybe. So we'll hold ourselves here in the retrograde position while we heat up as we pass through the atmosphere at night. This probably looks wonderful. And we'll check our map real quick and see. We are going to come down west of the Kerbal Space Center, hopefully not in the water, but along this edge somewhere, which means we can do some more science. There we go. Everything looks good. I don't really see anything. Oh, I still have a travel marker. Let's get rid of that. I don't see anything catching fire yet. That's good. Heat shield's doing its job. It's heating up. Oh yeah, almost 1,000 degrees. How about these guys? They're at about negative something degrees. So as long as they stay cold, I think we're okay. The heat shield doing its job, yes. The heat shield temperature is now dropping as we finish passing through into the atmosphere. Perfect. This is going to be a very good landing. So we have plenty of chutes to make sure we don't crash. Should slow our descent quite well. So all we gotta do now is wait till we get down about to 5,000 feet, and it does look like we're probably gonna hit the water. So I need to practice my judging where we come in. I don't know, maybe the atmosphere caused a lot more drag than I'm used to. Yeah. Wow, considering we started over there, that much drag. Well, it told us a lot of distance. That'll be important to know if I ever want to try and actually... So it looks like it'll be water experiments for you, Bob. Don't worry. I just, out of curiosity, I wonder if I could get my antenna open and do a report. Or do I think it'll get ripped off if we're still traveling too fast through the atmosphere? Should have put these on a, and think about it, I put these antennas on, I didn't put them on a, there we go, let's activate and see what happens. Oh, didn't get ripped off. Let's go ahead and see if we can review our report and transmit it. No comms about, oh, hold on. I guess we can't get a link. Yeah, I guess there's a mountain blocking our view. Oh well. It's worth a try. I guess we got to get some satellites up for communication around Kerbin here. Maybe that'll be our next mission. To do some, there goes all our parachutes. Our next mission will be to do some satellites, so we can talk back to Kerbin Mission Control when we're not within the line of sight of it. So this has been a very successful science run so far. I'm going to warp accelerate here so I can get Bob. Oh yes, of course. I don't want to run him into the ground too fast. We'll get Bob down to the water a little faster. Turn off SAS to save some battery power. Though I've got putting a lot of extra batteries on was probably one, a good idea, and two, probably not that necessary. Not as many as I stuck on there. I just didn't want to run out of power again, so I think I stuck like 12, well, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 on there. Yeah, 6 as opposed to the 2 that we had before, so 3 times as much power. And plenty of goo cans. Probably open one now. Not much science. Yeah, we'll keep it. Science is science. We'll take every little bit of it we can get, right? Right, Bob? Bob's a true scientist. He wants every little bit he can get. You know what? Let's adjust the ship a little bit so we're more on a side angle. I wonder if I can do that. Will it hold there? So we can land. Probably not a good safe way to land. Should we cut this chute loose? Oh! That was definitely not a good idea. We're still coming down really slow. Let's cut that one loose. Oh, there we go. Oh. Can we hold that? No. Not without me assisting. Well, Bob, I was going to try and land you a little horizontally, so there we go. That's probably not bad. We'll just work right there. Perfect. Aside from me cutting your chutes loose and freaking everybody out, that doesn't look too bad. So let's open up a goo can here, see what we got. Perfect. We'll take that. Keep that data. That's water and wet goo. We'll open this one up, check the same thing. Double up on our data just in case. Take another crew report while we're here in the water. Oh, you know what? Turn SAS off. That'll stop us from bouncing around since it's trying to autocorrect. Oh, guess we can't because we already have the one from when you were flying through the atmosphere, which we'll keep because it was worth a lot more science. I think we've already done some crew reports in water. So let's go ahead and retrieve the vehicle. Cover vehicle. And Bob. Good job, Bob. You're an excellent scientist. Look at all this science you brought back. Let's see what we got here. 42.2. Yes, Bob. Excellent. So that brings us up to a total of 83.7, which will be good. That'll let us unlock some more. Oh, wow, you got a lot of badges. So, Bob, since this was your first flight, you got the I Survived ribbon for science, along with Splashdown in the Water, Mach 4 below 30,000 feet. Excellent. Kerbin Orbit ribbon. You've orbited around Kerbin. Withstood 3 Gs. And 10% solid fuel booster ribbon. Excellent. You're on your way to being a hero. Let's go ahead and close that out. And we brought you back so you're ready for your next assignment. Excellent. So, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this here. This has been a good episode. Got lots of science done. I'm going to be back with the next episode. I'm going to see about getting us maybe some satellites up now, some communication satellites up, so we can do some better communication and some more science. Maybe get ready for our first trip out to either Mun or Minmus. I haven't decided which. All right, y'all have a good time. I'll see you later.